Hey, hi, it's Aaron, and this is my personal vlog, spiritual vlog, personal journal, uh, esoteric and metaphysical and woo-woo. So please take anything I say with a big pinch of salt. It's nothing I say that anyone needs to take seriously. But you're welcome here all the same. I think I need to say that because some of the things I say here do come back to me in real life. So, you know, we're all walking our own paths, aren't we? We've all got our own kind of paradigms of truth, of existence, of connection, of everything, anything, you know? Our own personal truths. Because they're all personal in the end, aren't they? Really. So yeah, I think what I want to talk about is, just want to say, you know, like, it's very hard going right now, I'm finding. You know, it's hard to sort of pin down what's going on right now because everything is so chaotic, so intense, so changeable. Personally, I have a lot of depression come up in the last sort of week, and it's just something I'm weathering right now. Trying to look after myself through it, but just finding it very hard to get anything done, anything creative done. My creative spark has kind of drifted away, and just really in a kind of hermit kind of phase right now. But yeah, so I think like another thing that's coming up for me is truth. You know, truth is a big one for me right now. Coming, sort of clashing with people, not intentionally, but clashing with people over truth, what truth is. You know, it sort of comes back to, I guess, conspiracy theories, information, how useful is information, how truthful is information, whether it's, you know, how useful is it if it's truthful or not. You know, that people are welcome to have their truth and it doesn't need to affect me, doesn't need to affect anyone else. And I guess that's kind of where I am, you know, I'm more in that place than I ever have been. The only thing with that is it's quite isolating. I've had an experience in the last couple of months that's been quite a bit of a shock for me in a spiritual community, and I don't really want to talk about it too much because like I said, things I say here tend to get I don't know, like it's just like it's, am I being paranoid, or are people who I never thought would watch this watching this and choosing a different avenue to attack me, kind of thing. And I'm talking about people in spiritual community. And I don't really want to get any more specific than that. But I think I had a very strange experience. Well, I did have a strange experience. Whilst I was going through it, I was kind of, with that experience, I was kind of out of body with it. With that, I was feeling quite confused about what was happening. And I was just assuming that I was being paranoid or that it was a huge coincidence. But I've had a little bit of space from it now, I think. Enough space to kind of, like, okay, just say, I don't know everything about what happened. I really don't have the full story at all, But I think I was on, what I was picking up, what I was sensing was, truthful. That someone who I never thought would give a shit about me kind of came at me. And it was me. Even though, there's loads of deniability, like there's no evidence at all. It's all kind of coincidental, but it just was so specific and it was so on the nose. I have to, when am I going to trust myself, And this is something I've been experiencing in recent years with people. And to even consider that people give a shit about what I say here is incredible. Like, I've talked about this before. I fell out with a friend because I didn't realise that we were having a conversation through my YouTube until I realised that this vlog was part of our relationship. I had no idea until it became obvious, and I reacted in a certain way because I felt like they were being dishonest with me and using what I was saying in one dimension, and coming to me in another dimension, YouTube, and then another, and then private messaging, and I had no idea the two were linked. And they're publishing, and it just felt like it was dishonest, and and there was a falling out, but this falling out never happened. It's so crazy. It never happened between us. Like, we never spoke. It happened on their publishing platform, and we never communicated about it directly. That's just incredible. And another time with a professional, which I don't really want to get into. Just so messy. It's so messy. So it's like there are people watching. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, obviously, no one watches these. No one cares, really. I don't have a following or anything. I don't really want one. Maybe I did one time. But I don't. I really don't. It makes me very uncomfortable to think that people are watching. Real people are watching. People who may have some kind of role in my life that outside of this, you know. But it's okay, you know, like, who am I to stop anyone? You know, this is public. I have made it public. It's quite deliberate. It's really helped me to do this. But it also blows my mind that people do watch and take note and react, and it has interfered, changed, had repercussions on my real life, you know. And so it's like, here we all are on social media. I think we're thinking we're just in our own little bubbles, but no, there are people watching. People we know are definitely watching. People are watching us. I think it's like we're in this sort of period of like surveillance, aren't we? It's not just the government or the I don't know, whoever. It's not just them. It's people we know. It's crazy. So, like, my guidance that I'm receiving is to do this. It's not to do it in any certain way, and it's not to deliver any kind of message. It's just to talk about my journey. And you know, I find that really hard. I find it so hard to not censor myself, to be honest, to be truthful about where I'm at. All the messiness that comes with it, you know, this journey, being a human, to share it, to be honest about it. And you know, it's crazy how we edit ourselves to be acceptable in the world, you know, to not upset anyone, to not rock the boat with anyone, to be presentable, to have a certain image, to make people think that we're doing well or whatever, you know, to be in some kind of competition or hierarchy with others, and I really don't want to do that. I really don't. I see people doing it a lot, and it's fine, you know, like, do what you want. If that really helps you, then do it, you know. But I don't think it really helps anyone. I don't think so. But you know, we've all got our motivations, haven't we? So yeah, I was talking about conspiracy theories, wasn't I? I'm really facing what's coming up for me right now is I'm really facing conspiracy theories that I've been listening to over the last 10 years or something. And the way it's happening is because I'm clashing, but not overtly, you know, in this kind of plausible deniability way, in the way I was talking about in a spiritual community. My previous video, I think, ruffled some feathers. The one about being trans and stuff like that. because there are some really horrendous theories in the spiritual community, in the truth community, you know, esoteric truths, you know, all of that stuff. And then just sort of, obviously, the surface level stuff, the right-wing stuff. There's a lot of theories about trans people, and I like to think I know what most of them are. And it's not that I'm saying that any of them are not true, because no one knows. We don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we don't know. And I'm not saying any of them are true, but there's some there is truth there, right? In all conspiracy theories, there seems to be some kind of truth in there. But what is the relationship of that truth with the whole story? Is that truth being used to prop up the rest of it? You know? So I don't want to get into it too much, because it's a real minefield and a rabbit hole. A rabbit hole you can get lost in for years, I guess. And, you know, I had my interests with it, and there's never been really any kind of definitive conclusions about a lot of this stuff. I'm not talking about just trans conspiracy theories. I'm talking about all of them, right? But then some of them are becoming true. Some of the conspiracy theories that were being investigated, discussed, and passed around sort of, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago are kind of out in the open now, and are kind of being accepted, you know, as truth, or at least being argued about a lot in the public eye, you know, in the kind of surface level. I don't know, I find it really fascinating how, like, I've seen it in myself, how plastic our minds are to this stuff. You know, here's me, I guess I'm on the left, right? I guess. I'm not really, but, you know, like, if you want to put me in a box, that one would seem to fit the best, right? And I'm not scared, I'm not worried about listening to right-wing voices. They don't bother me. Neither do the left, you know? There's nonsense on both sides of it, and in the so-called middle, and whatever else, you know? Who knows? Like, I don't see the world that way, really, but I've tried to understand it. I've tried to understand people that think in that way, the left and the right, and the middle. And you know, I've seen it in myself, like how your mind becomes entrained on other viewpoints when presented with flimsy evidence, you know, or just opinions. We have to be so careful. We have to be so careful. But, you know, I'm saying this because I think, you know, this isn't really so much a big part of my life anymore, being interested in conspiracy theories. I think I came to the conclusion quite a while ago that there's no end to it. And really, the best truth that you can know is the truth that you can know directly. The truth of God, the truth of love, the truth of wisdom, the truth of connection, of kindness, of compassion. These are truthful things, right? It's not information. Information is always incomplete. But some of these things, love is like an absolute thing. There's no kind of gradient to love. Or God. The only kind of definitions we have about love are very human, but love is transcendent of anything we can define about love or God or whatever, So, when I feel like people are campaigning or teaching spiritual truths and they're mixing conspiracy theories in the mix, it becomes a real minefield. If you've got a following of thousands of people and you're campaigning against a group in some way, it's super dangerous. It's not truthful. I looked at the timer, it said 22:22. So, I'm finding that in myself. Like, I'm not here to talk about the problems of the world particularly. I'm here to talk about my journey. What's happening with me? I don't know, I don't know what's happening. It's so confusing. I've just been in this state of confusion for the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's been a really hard summer. Some really heavy stuff's gone down in my family. And it's getting better. It's, it's a loved one has been very ill. And to see that happen to this person has been truly heartbreaking. And it's, it seems like things are getting better now, and but things are changing. Life is changing. My family dynamic is changing. And I don't know where I fit in that, I think I feel that with the world generally. I don't know where I fit. I was recently denied counselling that I'd waited 18 months for, and I was denied on the basis that it was too basic what they were offering, that I need specialised counselling, and they can't offer me that. Like, I understand it. They don't have the money, they don't have the resources, whatever, They said they can't offer me counselling because if they did give me what they can do, they might make me worse. And I need a lot of help. But I'm just not getting it. I can't get it. like the support. There's no support out there. There's no support, you know, in our systems. It's kind of brutal. But it's really, you know, reminding me to keep connecting, keep sitting, keep praying with God, you know, with the divine. To find that support, you know, the support there. But it's really hard to remember in the everyday, in everyday life. It's really hard to not be fearful, to not get confused. And at the same time, it's really hard to accept that I just am the way I am, for whatever reason. I just am this. You know, I have these diagnoses. I have a disorder. I have a developmental disorder. I have, you know, a disability. I am trans. I am these things. And I don't really enjoy them, but there's got to be strength in that. There's a gift in those. There are gifts there somehow. They bring me strength. Somehow. And all I have to do is show up. All I have to do is show up. All I have to do is ask. All I have to do is remember. Okay, I'm done. It's quite late, I think. One last piece of admin for this video. I have a newsletter that I am shutting down. If you're currently a subscriber there, it was only a notification newsletter just to let people know there was a new YouTube video. That's all it has been for the last while. I'm finding I don't really want to do it anymore. It's not, it's a bit of a barrier, to be honest. It's just another thing I have to do to just express myself. So I will be sending out one last email to let people know. And, you know, just remember, you can always bookmark this channel, come back and check, or you can subscribe if you want. If you don't want to subscribe, you can actually, there is actually an RSS feed if you want to keep up sort of privately, you know, you don't want to get involved with Google and all of that stuff. There is an RSS feed. If you don't know what that is, maybe I'll put that in the final email. I'll try and do that. I'll try and leave some information. So it's just about this. I don't really want to make this a bigger deal than just simply uploading a YouTube video and hitting publish. I don't want to make it any more complex than that. So there we go. If I don't make another one by the end of the year, happy solstice, happy Christmas, happy New Year. Hope you have a good one.